Welcome to Just the Tip Tuesday, a collaboration between Game Tech and Cut Right Mobile, your weekly source for 30 minutes of, well, let's call it what it is, redneck information, redneck hunting experiences. The only thing that I can really talk about real well is butchering and field dressing, but I try to do more. If you're a first-time listener, welcome. If you're a usual listener, welcome back. We got a dandy today, a full-on dandy. We are going to talk about, whether we dispel them or say we agree with them, we're going to talk about hunting myths. So buckle up. It's going to be a good one because I have one. I'm sure Ryan has one. So.
I've got a hunting myth. I hear it at shows all the time, and it just drives me freaking nuts when I hear it.
How you doing, buddy? What's new?
Good. Doing great.
Nice.
I'm glad to have you back this week.
You did a good one last week, or that was released yesterday. I liked it.
I'm way better with Mike. Mike's the brain of this thing.
Oh, come on. I just know how to bullshit the best of them.
But first off, I do, listeners, you can't see this, but if you're listening on YouTube or see some posts we do on, I have the Hunt, Butcher, Eat hat on. We've talked about it before, but I wanted to talk about how many compliments I get on this hat. It is all the frickin' time. Yeah, I love wearing it on the golf course, out in public. Hunt, butcher, eat. It's really what we're about, right? I mean,
it really is.
It's what we do. I've never done a guided hunt, like where you hunt and have somebody else do all the rest of the stuff for you. Like that's not us. It might be nice one time, to have a nice big
have somebody
buffalo hunt or something, but
I mean to have Charmin 5-ply and somebody there to clean up after me as opposed to using a paper towel and burying it under a log. But well, if you like that, I've redone the logo a little bit to make it fill in the front of that hat a little bit more, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to pick out the 3 different hat styles for my designer after we get done recording today, and I'm going to be launching a pre-sale on all of our social platforms, on the Game Tech, on the Elk Nut, on Turkey Tech, on Cut Right, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I'm going to be launching a pre-sale because I don't want to just order 10 hats and then have 40 people, and I also don't want to order 300 hats and only have 40 people. So we're going to do a full-on pre-sale. We're going to have several different hat styles to choose from, and yeah, it's going to be rad. I love them. I wear mine all the time. I wear a 7-panel, just something different, but I think that orange, I mean, we're going to have, it's awesome. It really, if you're into the DIY lifestyle, if the most coveted thing in your freezer is most limited resource is the game you kill, it's a hat for you. Everyone needs a new hunting hat each year. So this is a great one to get.
And all my hunting hats, by now would have had a sweat line around it. And, I golf in this, I do all this stuff in, and it looks brand new still.
And that's a dope one. Mine definitely has the sweat line. That one has it's not a thicker band, but it's like a sweat absorbing band. So you don't get that and have to scrub it. And I mean, we all have our lucky hunting hat, but it's time to get a new lucky hunting hat. I mean, I only wear my North Idaho archery hat on hunts, and it takes about, no matter how much I wash it, it takes about a half a mile into a hike in the evening before I'm guaranteed that every elk in the canyon I'm hunting smells it, because it smells so bad no matter how much I clean it. So,
and it fits multiple hunters because hunt, butcher, eat, or hunt, bitch, eat, whatever one you do.
If you're a complainer, if your buddy's a little pansy and won't hike in with you, get it for him. And also, I mean, we don't discriminate. We love killing animals and eating them. Like whether you want to use a bow, a rifle, a slingshot, a hatchet, a spear, like whatever works for you.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're a real man, you're going to pick up a rock and kill one with a rock. So, all right, let's do it, dude. Hunting myths. You go first, just in case you steal mine.
I can go first. All these shows that we go to, we always have people when we're pushing the Elk Nut app. Mm-hmm. Oh, elk don't bugle anymore. Elk don't make sounds because they, wolves, and there's so many hunters now. Elk just don't make sounds. We don't bugle. We don't cow talk. Like they don't do any of that. That's hogwash. Elk are still extremely vocal. They talk a lot, they still do their thing, and if you don't believe that, I mean, listen to some of the best hunters in the world, all still bugle, all still cow talk. I mean, elk make sounds, and I'm not saying that they aren't a little more quiet because of these things. You know, elk can definitely uh, be more choosy when they make their sounds, be a little more uh, controlled, I guess, in these moments. But ultimately, when it comes to breeding season, they're competing to breed, and they have to make these sounds in order to do that, in order to compete. It's just like us. I mean, when we are going after a girlfriend or our wife, we had to do some stupid stuff. Like for my wife, I mean, I've gone dancing. I'm a terrible dancer, by the way, but we do all these things that make us feel uncomfortable, that put us in these hard spots. And elk are the same way. They have to speak in order to breed, in order to get their girlfriend, or you know what I'm saying?
Well, here's my take on that. If you're not hearing elk talk during the dawn or dusk or midday madness, as our buddy Dirk puts it, and all that stuff, get your ass out of your tent at 1 a.m, hike in a mile to where you're going to hunt, and you'll hear them talk then. I can't tell you. I mean, I hate getting up at 1 a.m when I know I'm getting up at 4 a.m to go out. But if you want to hear elk talk, if you want to really locate where they're at in the drainage or what ridge they're on or whatnot, get out of your camp, get out of the back of your truck, go for a little hike with your headlamp on. Yes, it's scary. It's dark. I also sing when I walk in the dark, but not when I do that because I don't like the dark. And bugle and talk then, and you will find those animals. They may not talk during the day, right? So get your ass out of bed and go at night and find them.
Well, and Paul talks about night calling it's on the app. He has sections of it in his playbook and different things. And so
Yep.
Elk are still extremely vocal animals. No matter how many wolves come, no matter how many hunters, they're going to put themselves in a situation where they can breed.
They have to talk.
And if anybody's been around when there's a hot cow in the middle of 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they'll talk. I mean,
buddy, it's a cacophony. There's a special word for you. You guys should write that down. A cacophony of sounds in a canyon. It's freaking awesome if that's the case.
Right. And so that's my myth. It's not everybody doesn't believe that, but I couldn't believe how many people believed that elk don't make sounds because of
up
the
here in
wolves
northern
and hunters.
Idaho. I mean, when I go around and butcher for my clients, they're almost to a T. I would say if I butchered 70 elk last year, there were 62 people that were like, oh, they're silent out there. They're silent out there. Some of my good friends up here that are in our hunting community industry, like, oh, really silent this year, really silent. Like, it may just be the day you're out. It may be the drainage you're in. And just because they're silent in one drainage doesn't mean if you don't hike your tail 6 miles over to the next, they're not going. But to really put that one to bed, get out at night. You really want to hear elk bugle, you really want to locate them, get out at night. You will locate elk via sound.
And just different times of the season, the September, they're more vocal. And so
absolutely. I was listening, put another podcast out. I was listening to the Western Huntsman with my good buddy John Gabriel was on it. Great conversation. And he made the comment like, we get married to hunting one area, and you go back to it day after day after day, but you hunt one area on September 4th, nothing was there. It doesn't mean something's not going to be there September 6th or September 11th or September 23rd. Like, you got to be doing that. I like that one. That was a good one.
And just because you don't like calling and you prefer spot and stock and sit in wallows or sit in watering holes doesn't mean that they don't call, 100%. And so do what you enjoy, but elk definitely bugle.
Yes, they do. Bingo.
Okay, let's hear it. I want to hear your myth. I think you mentioned it to me already. I think I know what it is. And
I mean, I didn't mention it on our pre-chat, but here is my myth. Hey guys, just want to take a second and interrupt the Just the Tip Tuesday podcast to introduce and talk about one of our fantastic new partners, Grizzly. Grizzly's been making coolers for years. They are top notch hunting, boating, recreation coolers. In addition to coolers, they make drinkware, camp cups, water bottles anywhere from 1 gallon down to 30 ounces. They're insulated, they keep it cold. We personally use Grizzly coolers, the 75, the 100, the 165. If you're into cold tubbing, they even have a big 400 and 450. And one of the coolest things with Grizzly coolers, they have a meat shelf. I've been talking about this for years. There needs to be some sort of platform that keeps the ice down in the bottom of the cooler and the meat up on top of that ice. That way you can travel a long way and know that your meat is safe. If you go to the Grizzly website right now and use the code GOTGAME, that's GOTGAME, all capitalized, it'll get you 15% off of your order. Anything on their website: hunting equipment, ground blinds, troughs, coolers, meat shelves, drinkware, you name it. Use the code GOTGAME and support one of our awesome partners. A 6.5 Creedmoor is not a good caliber to kill elk. Period. You've all heard it. You make fun of me. You say I should have a man bun instead of a bald, shiny head.
Yeah.
You
6'5",
say I should
6'5" need more.
Yeah, you say I should do all these different things that align with a community that I'm not aligned with, and you know what I'm talking about. There's a bunch of letters that make that community. I tell you what, I and my family have killed more elk with a 6.5 Creedmoor than any other caliber in my gun closet. Now, somebody's gonna be like, yeah, but it's not the best caliber. Let me tell you something. That bullet shoots straight. That bullet shoots far. And if you know where to hit an animal, that animal dies in its tracks. Whether it's, I personally have shot an elk 800 vertical foot game, 347 yards away, buried it exactly where one, and the scope has a lot to do with that as well.
Right.
My son has shot multiple elk from frontals that laid that elk down last year in 5 feet from where he shot it to 280 yards away, and he had to thread the needle through trees and bushes and everything else to get it. Tell me a better caliber. Okay, I'm sure somebody will jump on here and tell me, but tell me a better caliber for shooting straight and shooting fast that if you hit the animal in the right way, it drops dead. Also added to that, it doesn't have a lot of kick, so your younger kids can shoot it. Your 10, 12, 14-year-olds can shoot it without dislocating their neck from the mule kick. My myth is that the 6.5 is not a good elk gun. I shoot a 130 grain terminal velocity bullet out of it, and I will tell you that the gun is a whip, and it kills absolutely everything with one shot. You know, some people may jump on here and be like, oh, but a 300 Win Mag will put a bigger hole and do all this stuff. Man, you go ahead and carry your 300 Win Mag. Like, I'm not arguing that. Like, you go ahead and do that and carry it, and you do what you want to do. But the 6.5 Creedmoor is a dandy elk gun. It will do exactly what you want it to do.
You're gonna make all those jacked up truck people mad.
Well, maybe this year I'll hunt in a wig that has a little man bun on it and wear a shirt that says 6.5 CM.
You know exactly what I mean about the jacked up truck, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, even Griffin makes the comment about those guys with the 8.5-inch lift and 45-inch tires and stuff. It's kind of funny. No offense to all you guys out there, but
shooting the 300 Win Mag.
when we were driving home from the bear hunt down in Twin Falls after Griff killed, this may be really bad, and it's probably going to make some listeners mad. Like, a couple of those trucks passed us with real wide tires, big, I don't even know, like 40-inch tires, like 8-inch lifts. Griff's in the back seat, you know, he's all hopped up on Mountain Dew and pizza and from killing his bear, and he looks over, and he's like, hey, Dad. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, that guy has a small wiener. And I was like, Griff. And he's like, well, look at his truck. And I was like, okay, fair enough. I mean, so.
Yeah, you're going to make all those guys mad with that comment.
Oh, buddy, I tell you what, they're also, as you said, the guys that need bigger guns. I mean, I'm not going to shoot a 22. I'm not going to try to hit an elk in an eye with a 22, but I am going to have my 6.5 Creedmoor, and I'm going to kill every elk that I want to shoot with it because I know where to shoot the elk. I know how that gun travels. I know it's a flat shot. That's my myth. 6.5 Creedmoor, not a good elk gun. Hogwash.
Hogwash. Well, and I would agree. I mean, I have a 6.5 Creedmoor and I love it. I also have a 7 PRC. And,
That's my next gun. I'm going to get a 7 PRC.
Have eventually. A 30-06 and, they're all good guns. And that's the myth really, I think, is there's all this unwarranted hate towards a really good caliber in the 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm not going to say it's the best. Like, no, I think
absolutely not.
I think if you can shoot a 7 PRC or a 300 PRC just as accurately, just as good with that bigger bullet in an elk, it's probably better. It's a bigger bullet and you're more accurate, and that's fine.
But if every gun has its limitations. Every weapon has its limitations. Every bow has its limitations. It's the user that is able to overcome those limitations or accommodate those limitations to kill animals is really what it comes down to.
Well, and that's just it, is if you're shooting a 300 PRC and you can't shoot it accurately because you're jumping and this and that, you're way better off shooting a 6.5 Creedmoor.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where the myth is. It's like the 6.5 Creedmoor, if you can shoot it accurately, is a really good gun. I mean, you can get 145 grain Hornady bullets now for it.
Oh yeah.
And I shoot 150 grain out of my 30-06, but every person in the world will say a 30-06 is a great gun, and granted, you're throwing more powder with the 30-06 and you're doing these different things, but I've never shot my 30-06 as accurately as my 6.5 Creedmoor.
I mean,
and so I mean, I guess what I'm saying is you need to shoot. I say it's more important to be accurate than have a big gun. And if you're going to shoot a big gun, you better be accurate, or you better start sizing down a little bit.
Correct.
And it's just, it's the same
shoe
thing
that fits.
It's the same reason why lots of women are shooting for their concealed carry, shooting 22s or 380s, because it's more important that they hit the person they're shooting at than have a big gun. And that's why my wife, she started with a 22 and then we moved to a 380. That's a big gun, not a little pistol, that kicks like a mule, because ultimately she's carrying. So if she has to use it, she's going to hit somebody. And so that's the same thing with the guns. And so all this, the 6.5 Creedmoor is not powerful. It's plenty powerful. Everybody can use it. Can you get a little better if you can shoot it accurately? Yeah, you can. You can get a bigger bullet, and if you shoot it accurately, that's great. But for a 12-year-old, a 6.5 Creedmoor that they have a good grouping at 200 yards that they feel comfortable with is way more important than shooting a 300 PRC.
And it'll kill any animal if you hit it in the right spot. Right? So,
do you have another
one, or is that what you got?
That's what I got. We might need to do another one of these because there is a lot of myths, and I do think the 6.5 Creedmoor one, sometimes people I think do it just to kind of get at the 6.5 Creedmoor people.
100%. I'm so used to it.
It's kind of funny, but it's a great caliber, and if you're shooting it, don't feel ashamed. It's a good gun, and
just put your hair up in a man bun and wear a tight rainbow shirt, and you'll be good to go.
Hey, but we'll know one thing. You don't have a jacked up truck.
I do not have a jacked up truck. So we will I like this topic, and I think it'll be really useful to do. My first hunt is coming up in about 3 weeks for my kiddos. I think it'll be really useful to do mid-August. We could do some, and I've discussed this on different podcast platforms. I did the Western Contours, I did School of September and all that stuff last year, but we'll focus on just some meat myths. Once your animal's down, some meat and field dressing myths when people get scared to death out there. And I think that'll be one that you want to it definitely saved to your phone. So, hey, man, this was a good one. Thank you to the
Yeah.
listeners for listening. No offense to the guys with jacked up trucks. You're still okay. Just
You're
whatever.
Keep listening to the podcast too, you guys.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one, man.
Thank you, guys. Whether you're deep in the backcountry, field dressing your game, learning to butcher to perfection, or cooking up the meal that honors the hunt, Cut Right is your ultimate guide. Cut Right puts expert knowledge at your fingertips. Master field dressing right on the mountain, learn step-by-step butchering techniques, and discover incredible ways to prepare your harvest. It's not just about the hunt, it's about the whole journey. Download the Cut Right mobile app where apps are downloaded today and elevate your wild game experience.